is going to be interesting to hear from him what he's got to say of this year and what is in store. We'll dive into college life, those type of things, ladies and gentlemen. For the rest of the show, before we do have Bobby on, as always, hey, we want to talk drag racing. We want to talk drag racing. Darren Williams Jr., he chimes in and says, yo, that's American Hot Rod Entertainment. And you know that he loves talking his drag racing. He's here. Rob, hey, thank you for being here as well. And be sure, as I am right now, I'm looking at the phone, and what am I going to do? I'm going to hit the share button. If you would hit the share button for me, let folks know about Between the Slicks, invite someone along to watch, trying to grow the show. And the only way it's going to grow, ladies and gentlemen, is if you help me to grow the show. I definitely think we talk to some people that, well, at times they may very well get overlooked in the drag racing world. For example, earlier this week was trying to get on Terry Haddock. Hopefully I'll have him in the future. You don't find too many folks calling up and trying to get Terry on a show. But he's got a great story, and there's a conversation there worth having. He's had some wonderful moments this year of going rounds and in big moments and going up against big names. So love to chat with those people. Love to chat with the people of the Southeast Gasser Association. We're going to take a preview of that race, their last race of 2021 this weekend. Drag Racing Central says, we back. Hey, good to have you along, man. Sam, he chimes in. Thank you for watching, Sam. Hey, man, it's great to watch the show again. Thank you for watching along. Well, taking care of business, we'll say, recently uploaded to the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel, Pro Boost PDRA World Finals. You can see the eliminations there. A great championship battle took place in that class. And by the way, I may have the only video out there of the YouTubers that will explain to you the critical players in the championship and who to look out for and who did, in fact, win the championship. You don't just see cars going down the track with a Monday Morning Racer YouTube production. Pro Nitrous is also up on the YouTube channel from the final race of the PDRA in 2021. And came out today, hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen, is Extreme Pro Stock, a.k.a. Mountain Motor. Their eliminations and their championship battle is showcased in the latest Monday Morning Racer upload. So be sure to subscribe to the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel. You'll find all that great content and beyond in the world of motorsports, but definitely the world of drag racing. Stan, MMR. That's right. Monday Morning Racer. Darren Williams Jr. Terry was driving a nostalgia funny car at the California Hot Rod reunion a few weeks ago. That was badass. Yes, and that particular car, he has been wanting to get that done for years. I remember seeing the body for it last year, and I said, hey, what's the plan with this? What are you going to do? Oh, we're going to do a nostalgia funny car. And apparently, from what I have been told, the chassis for that nostalgia funny car is the chassis that he won his IHRA Nitro Funny Car Championship with. So it's special in a lot of ways for Terry having that ride now, and I'm certain we're still going to see him for several Funny Car Chaos types of event and running that nostalgia car. And they have been wanting to, Terry has been wanting to run out there in Bakersfield for a very, very long time. It was on his list, and he was able to mark it off the list. So that was cool to see. And I imagine in the future, we'll find that car to be extremely competitive in those ranks and possibly at the Funny Car Chaos events. But he's even ran the Big Show car at the Funny Car Chaos event. So no telling what we'll see Terry doing. Maybe someone will fill the seat of one or the other, and both will be in competition in Funny Car Chaos or elsewhere. That would be great to see. Well, let's take the time and take a preview at the drag racing world where I will be a part of this weekend. and that is the Southeast Gasser Association, their final race of 2021 in their championship battle at Shadyside Dragway, Shelby, North Carolina. If you have not seen or heard of the Southeast Gasser Association and what it is, let me give you a little preview right now. The Southeast Gasser Association, ladies and gentlemen, they are serving up what Quayne Stott, the owner, promoter, the brain trust of it, what he is serving up is something that is the most period accurate nostalgia drag racing of the gasser scene of its type anywhere in the world. And they, this weekend, will be at Shadyside Dragway. You can actually see last year's race on the Monday Morning Racer platform on YouTube and see those eliminations of Superstock, A, B, and C gas. Guys, wherever you're at, you need to try to make a race, make a Southeast Gassers race sometime soon. If you're on the West Coast, if you are in the Midwest, if you're up north, though they do travel to places like Indiana, you need to try to make a Southeast Gasser event. It is one of the best shows out there in drag racing, and you're going to get the most accurate representation of drag racing like it used to be, near the days and the times of the inception of drag racing. So if you're able to make it, that's this weekend, Shadyside Dragway, Shelby, North Carolina. Last year, if I remember correctly, it seemed like it anyway. There was a record crowd at Shadyside. You can see the footage on my YouTube channel. It was a tremendous crowd. They were wondering where they're going to park everybody, and we're already having that issue coming into this weekend. There are 104 pre-entered, period accurate drag cars. And look, Quayne will tell you he's got some stringent rules, and they've got to stick within those rules. He's done that so things don't get out of shape and go all wild and crazy, but they stay as drag racing reenactors with actual live competition. We're talking about all clutch cars, shifting gears, revving high, looking like they should from the day and time they were in. Heads up drag racing. It is a great show, and it is a platform, and it is a organization that I really feel many other drag racing organizations can learn from. They don't do much track prep. There's a little bit, but there's not much. There wasn't much back in the day. And the show keeps moving, and I think that is critical. And when there is downtime, they do fill it, and they tell you why there is downtime and what they're doing and how long it's going to be, and they stick to the time frame of their downtime. You got to see Southeast Gasser action sometime in your life. And if you don't attend one in person anytime soon, well, you can see footage of the Southeast Gasser Association even live. SoutheastGasser.TV, SoutheastGasser.TV. You can watch live, and with this particular event coming up, you'll see footage later on right here on Monday Morning Racer on the YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for all the notifications of what is produced and put out by yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer. We'll go back to the comment section before moving on. Corey Roth, man, I hope you're doing well. By the way, folks, I guess Corey may still work at Verizon. If you need a phone, Corey's the dude. Still using mine that I got from him. It's been a great phone. What's up, dude? Going to need you to start making plans for SEMA 2020. 2022. You will love it. Yeah, I didn't go to SEMA this year, but I will say today, talking about trade shows, your boy is registered, is going for PRI. Wait till they get a load of me at that place. I'm going to shut the place down. That's my plan. We'll be at PRI. Looking forward to that and the content that we'll come up with while there. Maybe even a Between the Slicks from PRI. That would be pretty cool. Maybe that works out. Stan chimes in. Stan, thank you for watching. Appreciate it, man. MMR, have you heard when the 2022 NHRA Pro Mod schedule will be released? No, I haven't. And, Pro Mod not being under the Camping World banner, their schedule comes out, it seems, later than everyone else's. And it would be great to have them under the Camping World banner. That's not going to happen anytime soon for whatever reason, whether it's the old fiasco with the Pro Stock trucks. I don't know. I don't know why. It just seems like nobody really wants to be transparent and answer that question honestly. Maybe one day I can have Glenn Cromwell on and we can figure out why and get a definite answer. But no, I don't know. I would expect that you are going to see after this year, that schedule will be heavily slanted towards running the East Coast, except for Las Vegas. That's a great place to end it, but I don't think after this year you're going to find the NHRA trying to tug, pull, push the Pro Mod guys to go run Denver, to go run Brainerd, Minnesota. And look, nothing against those locations. Matter of fact, those are two locations I have yet to attend, but I hear great things about those places, and they are great facilities, and they're great races. But they're a haul for most of the NHRA teams that are in Pro Mod that do compete in NHRA. It's strange how drag racing, as universal as it is, the styles of drag racing are not necessarily universal. Pro Mod seems to be very much a southeast, northeast, slightly Midwest type of drag racing. Texas and the West, funny cars, alters, nostalgia scene. Yet, you go far west, you may have nostalgia funny cars, but yet you're probably not going to have the nostalgia scene that you do with the gassers right now in the southeast and the central part of the country and even the northeast. It's fascinating how you have pockets of particular types of drag racing throughout the nation, even though, yes, there are pro mods in the West, but I think it would be hard to argue that the East Coast has pro mod dominated compared to the West Coast. And then nostalgia funny car, it's obviously West Coast instead of the East Coast type of situation. Drag Racing Central, will you be at Pomona for the end of the season? My plan is to be there. I've just got to hurry up and book tickets for flights and book rooms, but I plan to be there for the last race of the season. Corey Roth, love it, man. Looking forward to it. Yes, sir. Drag Racing Central. Hey, if it was 8th Mile, you'd get 30 cars at Brainerd. No, I don't think you would. I don't think 8th Mile for those guys is that big of a deal, even though that's traditionally what Pro Mod door slammers have raced. You got to remember, where were they racing, though? Where does it come out of? Like, for example, the Southeast. Why is 8th Mile so prominent in the Southeast? It's not, first, that it was to be easier to run. When these tracks were being established, it was a matter of, well, we have enough room here to do this distance. I know of 10th Mile tracks. I mean, if we want to make the argument of the easier on parts, let's all run 10th Mile, which is less than an 1/8 of a mile. So it's not just parts. It's not just 8th Mile. It is a trek from where are a lot of the door slammer teams from in our day and time? North Carolina. There's a lot in Florida. several in Georgia. There's a whole pocket in New York with like Mike Janis and the Salemis. Canada. Making trips out there they're far. They're far. That's something we got to realize. And look, what we're talking about with Pro Mod going to other places such as Denver and Brainerd, West Coast, it's more than the distance of the track. It is marketing partners. It's also, do some of these individuals even have the desire to go run more than 12, 11, 13 races? And many of them right now don't. Many of them own successful businesses, and they do Pro Mod racing as a hobby. There's very few full-time racers in Pro Mod that make their living from Pro Mod racing. The exceptions would be Ricky Smith and Stevie Fast Jackson. Honestly, that's about it. You've got some individuals that are so independently wealthy, they can just go run. They don't even need sponsors or marketing partners. Belushi, I mean, got a whole country behind him, for example. Pro Mod is just a whole nother animal. And speaking of NHRA, I do want to bring a photo up and just say congratulations to the winners there in Las Vegas. Steve Torrance, Cruz Petragon, Dallas Glenn, Steve Johnson in their respective classes. Also, Lyle Barnett. And look, Lyle Barnett getting it done again, driving obviously, but in the turbo. And turbo was supposedly dead. So NHRA might have found that elusive parity they've been looking for. They might have found it. And I think that more than anything else may bring people back to Pro Mod is that there's actual parity. Because when you roll into the gate and you feel like you don't have a chance, I think that's stronger than the money, than the distance of the track or the distance of the race. That's stronger than anything else of whether or not I'm going to show up to race and compete. When we look forward to Pomona, though, and Elon Werner on the West Buck Show did a great job. He always does a great job on the stats and the projections. He went over what it looks like in the championship run going into Pomona, who can get it done, who has the possibility, who's mathematically there. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Steve Torrance, unless something goes majorly wrong and majorly well for Brittany Force, he's going to be your 2021 champion in Top Fuel. I love the battle that we have in Funny Car right now. I've loved Funny Car all year. It's been so competitive. And if you've been watching the show long enough, and also Competition Plus Power Hour on Tuesday night, I have said that this year was going to be extremely competitive. It frankly is even more competitive than I thought it was going to be. And Cruz, who I also said and have had on this show that with the move he made, it was going to set him up for another championship run. Well, look where he sits. Mathematically, with the 1.5 points, he's got a shot at Pomona, and he's a cagey veteran. He knows how to get it done, and he's been in these championship battles. But all of them have. Even though there's 7 still with a mathematical chance, theoretically, the major players, Ron Capps, he's won a championship. He's been in championship battles, second all-time on the wins list in Funny Car in particular. He knows how to get the job done. And then Matt Hagan, multi-time champion. He's been in the championship chases before. The storylines going in are you have Cruz Petragon, an individual that's got it done in 2 different eras of Funny Car, and now in a third different era, you could say, and he might be able to pick up a championship. You have Ron Capps, hungry for more, and the stability of there has been no other announcements made to what he may do concerning 2021, but is there any issues with Matt Hagan already announcing a move to Tony Stewart Racing and a brand new operation that's going to be? Does that play on the minds and the hearts of team and driver and all people participating? is that something that is going to like to be a weakness for him? We don't know. But Pomona is going to be great. Qualifying points are going to matter definitely in Funny Car, and they also are going to matter in Pro Stock. I expect Pro Stock at Pomona, you're going to see everything that you saw at Las Vegas and then some. You're going to see the stacking of the deck in qualifying, and it's going to be interesting to see how the teams involved play it. Will more individuals try to lay back? Will more try to move up this time and nab more points? Is it going to be a situation of, okay, let's all try to run faster than Greg so we take away points, but yet we have Erica still run faster than us? Those type of games being played. What will it look like? I know this. The tension in the stands, just as it was in 2019, will be felt again. I'm looking forward to what we have in store at Pomona. And then Pro Stock Motorcycle. It is still up for grabs. And you have two people going at it that have been vocal and that there's respect, but yet there's a dislike in Matt Smith and Steve Johnson and the championship battle that is there. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we could ask for much more out of NHRA competition this year. And you may say, well, look, Top Fuel, it seems sewed up. But look, you have got to give the Capco boys, Steve Torrance, a pat on the back, a round of applause. He has drove well this year, extremely well this year. It has not just been the crew and the tuner getting it done for him, though they have done their part. There have been times that he has stepped up, he's cut the better light, he's played the right games, he's pedaled the car, and he's got the win. Kudos to them. They've done a stellar job. Love what we see in NHRA drag racing right now. Let me go to the comments, catch up on those. Drag Racing Central says, I mean, if NHRA's rules made sense for Pro Mod, if Pro Mod, say, went to VMP, you think that a Tommy Franklin or Jay Cox wouldn't try to enter if it was 8th mile? I think they would enter even if it was quarter mile and the rules made sense. If NHRA drag racing went to 8th mile and yet they didn't change the cars, you're not going to see any other cars show up. The NHRA would have to make the rules more appealing to folks showing up. And again, I think bigger than distance of the length of the race on the racetrack or the distance to the track, we were dealing with a situation earlier this year that if you felt like you had a turbo car, why show up? There's not. I might not even make the field. I'm not going to get any money out of it. Why bring my nitrous car? I've got no hope because of the Pro Charger situation. It seems like right now there is parity. Now, parity is a continually moving target and object, but right now it looks like we have parity. Heck, maybe Turbo's too strong with Lyle Barnett going out there and winning the last 2 races, but he did get it done on driving. And that is what matters, no matter the combination. You still got to drive the car, and you got to cut a light. You got to leave first. Doug Core, the undisputed champion. I'm not sure exactly who you're referring to. Maybe Steve? I don't know. I don't know the context in which you were typing that in. If you have a minute, look at Comp Plus Vegas Notebook Steve Torrance stats. I'll have to take a look at that later on afterwards. I haven't looked at the notebook. What an impressive year they've had, and records being established. He's got the 50 wins now. He's going to continue to have more wins. We're looking at somebody that I really wish people would move past some of the emotional outbursts and see that we have one of the best right now. We do. And it's great to see. Americans, we have a love affair with the underdog. We just do. But we definitely, I believe, need to learn an appreciation for when people are excelling and doing well. American Hot Rod Entertainment chimes in and says, 10 years ago in 2011, Matt Hagan, Ron Capps, and Cruz Petragon were 3 of the 6 that went into Pomona with a chance at the championship in Funny Car that year. Well, they're the major players once again. It's going to be a great battle between them. I'm a bit biased, I will say. I'm pulling for Ron Capps. I'd love to see him get that second one. It would be a great story to see Cruz get it, though, as well, because if he gets it, wins another championship, becomes a 3-time champion in the class. He becomes a 3-time champion, and he's done it Like, I would really have to wonder if anybody's won that many championships spread apart like that. You know, he wins his first one early 90s, only one to do it in the 90s other than John Force, obviously. And then you have him go a long time. And then as an owner himself and pick up another championship. And if he does it again, it's been many years since then. I wonder if that's like the longest spread between championships. It's amazing when you stop and think about it. Cruz has been doing this for 30, 31, 32 years. And he's stayed around. He's even had some time in the booth. He has had a great career, and it's not done yet for sure. Matt Hagan defeated Cruz in the semifinals to clinch it that year. The interview if Steve Johnson wins the championship. Oh, wow. Yes, Drag Racing Central. He doesn't even need cause to have a wild interview, but if he wins the championship, and I'm sure he'll mention something about just being a hobby racer, it will be truly epic. It may never end. They'll just have to cut the camera and go on to the racing. Stan says they have to get rid of the EE safety equipment rules. They would. There'd have to be changes made. There'd have to be an acceptance of something. Yes, they would. And look, I've said this, and I'll say it again. In comparison, when it comes to Pro Mod, of like PDRA and NHRA. PDRA right now, they're the only ones that I know of. They've said, we're not going to run the nitrous and the boosted cars together. We're going to have Pro Nitrous. We're going to have Pro Boost. Oftentimes, they have full fields for both. Oftentimes, they have people going home for both. And you have great competition between just the nitrous guys and the boosted guys. And they, in drag racing, are unique. I think the NHRA, being quarter mile, seems like they're figuring out some parity issues. They're unique right now compared to Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod Association, Pro Mod Out West, Pro Mod in the East, NMRA, NMCA, all the others, and the one-off big money door slammer events. There's something to be said about that. All right, Doug, cool. Steve Torrance. Yes, I agree. American Hot Rod Entertainment, only 3 top fuel drivers in history have had double-digit win seasons. Schumacher, Dixon, and Steve Torrance. Steve Torrance and Tony Schumacher are the only 2 that have multi-double-digit win seasons in Top Fuel. Again, people definitely need to recognize that we're looking at a great driver and a great team. Darren with the stats. Yes, Darren does a great job with the stats. He certainly does. He's able to go find them. He knows them. He's got a great memory for it. The Top Alcohol Dragster final at Vegas was also for the season championship. Doesn't happen often. Yes, that's right. It was for the championship, and I was watching that closely. I'll be honest, I was pulling for Jackie. I wanted to see kind of East Coast be represented well, and Jackie is the regional champion for Division I, though. Cool to see it go right down to the wire. I was glad to see, if I remember correctly, it got some coverage on Fox. That was good to see. But it's good to see the championships go right down to the wire. And it's fascinating. For everybody that wants to bicker about blocking, well, you got to remember, Rachel went there, Meyer, as her own blocker. Because the way the points work with regionals and divisionals and nationals, if I remember correctly, she couldn't incur any more points, but she was there to stop Jackie, because if Jackie went and won the race, whether Rachel was there or not, she would, in fact, win the championship. So, right down to the wire, right down to the wire, and Rachel blocked her. Congratulations to them. Drag Racing Central. And, folks, we got to quickly move on. We'll get Bobby Bode on. He's in studio. The difference is PDRA's rules allow a lot more openness in the rules. I don't know about that. Depending on the class. Now, look, there is openness, sure. You can bring in different combinations, but yet they are split. And look, rules and parity continue to be a discussion in PDRA of all of their classes, especially 632. And even right now, the nitrous guys, there's a little bit of like, we're still not as quick as some of those boosted guys, but it works out well the way they're doing. And that's that is something that I feel like enough people don't put stock into. Are we doing something different enough with our racing organization within drag racing to make it distinct and noticeable? Frankly, even though the NMCA is a great organization, I so often overlook it because they're doing something so similar in many other ways, shapes, and forms. Try to be unique in the world of drag racing, and it doesn't bother me that the NHRA is like, hey, we're going to be the quarter-mile holdout in Pro Mod. Michael from Pittsburgh. Good sandwiches up there. Neat city. Love looking over the city from Mount Washington. Can't forget about Sean Bellamere representing California, getting it done in Top Alcohol Funny Car. Okay, the last one I'm going to take, then we got to get Bobby Bode on. Yes, I completely, again, Sean getting it done. And look, getting it done after that major explosion in Tulsa, they had to go to the Virginia Regional Divisional Virginia Motorsports Park. I was there. You can see that race on the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel. They had to go there to get some more points. They were in a tight championship battle. And look, Top Alcohol Funny Car, love Top Alcohol Funny Car. It's all like, it just depends on what day I wake up if I like Nitro Funny Car or Top Alcohol Funny Car more. Revving at 7,000 RPMs on the start line and switching feet, you know, love Alcohol Funny Car, and they get it done. You can never count out the killer bees for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to introduce now our guest tonight, Bobby Bode. So right after this small clip, giving you a preview of the young man, we will have Bobby Bode on. Be sure to have questions for him. I've got plenty for him as we dive in to the rest of the show right here on Between the Slicks. Hit that like button, hit that share button, get someone on, because we're about to have Bobby Bode on. Bobby, man, well, first off, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
All right. We got you. You're on. You're live. Good to have you on, man, on short notice. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, look, dive into the life and times of a college kid at Arizona State University on a Thursday.
So today I just went to class and just doing homework, and now I'm doing the interview, which is pretty cool. I was looking forward to this all day, and just glad to be here.
See, guys, the life of a funny car driver is not that exciting. See, it's not that exciting. It's just class, some homework, and some interviews. But no, definitely, you've had an exciting year. Been following you closely, and you've been growing on the radar of the NHRA world. So, what has it been like to, I'll say, kind of go to obscure guy in the pits to, I see some more fans coming up. I see some more folks wanting autograph. You're definitely, you've done the walk 1,000 feet with Amanda Busick. That puts a lot of attention on anybody that does it. So what has been the growing fandom like?
It's been pretty crazy, to be honest. I mean, I kind of had some expectations heading into it, but I've kind of exceeded them. I don't know. It's pretty crazy for me to be 19 and just having all these like older guys, like 60, 70-year-old guys telling me like, oh, it's crazy, you're living my dream, and then they want my autograph, which is just really crazy. So yeah, I'm just really lucky to be in the situation I'm in.
You definitely are, man. You definitely are. And Ahmad here says, "Don't be modest. We know you got those NASCAR tickets. So you plan on going to Phoenix, checking the NASCAR race out?"
Yeah, so Ahmad's actually my roommate, and he's tuning in today. And yeah, so ASU has this NASCAR setup, and they gave me some tickets today, and I actually lost one of them.
Oh.
Yeah, but I still have one of them. I'm still looking for other ones, so hopefully I can get that all sorted out.
Cool. I know I saw that and I messaged you about it. Like, go over there. So what was it like? I know they were doing the e-sports, which has become huge for NASCAR. Like NHRA's got to figure that out. That has become so big for NASCAR.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were they doing on campus today with that particular motorsport?
So pretty much I just went over there and was just talking to some of the guys, and they were just displaying their new video game they have coming out, and I was just testing it out, and it's actually a pretty cool game. And NHRA actually has a game coming out, so I was talking to them about it. But yeah, no, so they were just trying to advertise their new game pretty much, and just advertise Coke and all that, and free tickets. So hopefully, or I got some free tickets, so hopefully I can go to that race.
I hear you. Now, you just said Coke. We're talking about the liquid, right? We are talking about a college campus. Like, we're talking about
Yeah,
the
no,
kind of
yeah.
No, I'm joking. So we've got American Hot Rod Entertainment. He is like, hey, he wants an invite to one of those frat boat parties one day. So, you got to extend the invitations to some of the drag racing media out here.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, the fraternity I'm in, we love having just new people come hang out with us. So he's more than welcome to.
So what lake is that? Is that in the Phoenix area still? Is there a lake around there? I'm not that familiar with the area.
Yeah, there's a lake called I think it's pronounced Sagiro or something. But a couple weeks ago, we the whole fraternity went out to San Diego for the weekend, and we were so yeah, it was a pretty fun time.
That's a good fraternity trip right there to San Diego.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of beaches and scenery, and we all brought dates, which was really fun. So
there you go. Fun times. Well, let's dive a little bit into drag racing in particular. I don't think I've been able to ask you this, which is strange because typically I ask everybody who did junior dragsters, because I did junior dragsters as well, this question. So, did junior dragsters for a long time. We know that. What is something that you still do today in the car, or a thought, an action that you have that you learned in junior dragsters that even though you're in a big show car, you still do it to this day?
Okay, so I think the easiest answer to that would be the staging of it. I made probably 5,000 to 10,000 runs in my junior car, and each time you stage the car. So I'm pretty familiar with the whole process of that, and like shallow stage and deep staging. And that's probably the most important thing that's transferred over from that. And I use that every time. And that was really helpful for me in my whole learning experience to going to Nitro Funny Cars.
Staging process, get it down, and learn those games already, and let's not play games or whatever. And what do you think about the games in, man, for whatever reason this year, as competitive as Funny Car has been, it's been like very, very sensitive. Like Matt's angry at John, and John's like, I'm gonna do what I want, and JR Todd's angry at Cruz, and all that going on. And here's Bobby just like, I'm in a Funny Car. What do you think about the games and the gamemanship out there? And have you thought yourself, like, you know what, I'm on a deep stage? I've never done it.
Well, this weekend in Vegas, first round, I actually did deep stage against Bob Tasca. I qualified, and I was like, there's 2 more races left in my rookie year, so I was like, screw it, let's try it. I had an 0.24 reaction time, so I'm all for that gamesmanship on the starting line. In the junior cars, I always tried to do stuff like that, so I'm all for it.
All right, there we go. And it's fascinating to me how sensitive of a topic it's become. I got to interview one of the greatest in Funny Car of all time in Dom Perdome, and I asked him, like, was it sensitive in your day? And he's like, no, it really wasn't. Like, because the fields have gotten so close, that's true. But he said, we just did our thing. It's fascinating how sensitive it's become. And then everybody knows what John's going to do. There's video proof of John doing it in like 1987, deep staging. It hasn't changed. Like, everybody should know. It's just John being John. Anything you've noticed strange so far about your fellow drivers? Anything stick out? Like, this guy does something, it's like, that's odd. Why do you do that?
Not really. I mean, there's been like a couple times when like qualifying we raced someone and like we were ready like way before them, so we had to wait a little bit. So I was just in the pre-stage wall a while, which is kind of annoying. But like as far as race day and all that, I really haven't seen anything. But like I've been studying like all these drivers for as many years as I've been watching, so I know a lot of their like tactics and stuff. So like if I ever race John Force, I'm gonna deep stage 100% just because I've watched him. I've watched him like 19 years just do it every time. So
there we have it, folks. Bobby Bode, look out. If ever in rounds of competition with John Force, he's deep staging. He's called it right here. It's going to happen. Oh, wow. Oh, that's going to be epic right there. That's going to be epic right there. Double deep stage. Who? Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, look, how did the transition from juniors to funny car work out? From what I understand, like, you weren't in super comp or in a bracket program of a bigger car. It was like try to get fully transitioned to the big show car. Is that right?
Yeah. So I got my super comp license when I was 16, and I was still racing the juniors at the same time. And then I went to Frank Hawley's for that. And then we asked him like the age for racing the alcohol car, trying to license in that. And he said 16. So then me and my dad talked about it, and that was something I really wanted to do. So then when I was 16, I tried to get my alcohol license, and those cars are pretty hard to drive. So I didn't get my license, but I was close to it. But it just gave me a lot of experience for when I tried the nitro car. But pretty much I just came straight out of juniors to the funny car, which is pretty fun.
Wild times in the Bode family. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to bring up the picture of the car, and I want you to break down for us the partners. I think a lot of folks don't understand when they look at the car what they're looking at. So RB Plastic Bags, family business. Dive in on the family business, what all y'all make, and location, how folks can get in contact with you all, and like small bags, big bags, any type of bags. Talk to us about bags.
So RV Plastic Bags, that's my dad's business. He's owned it for probably 30 years. My grandpa used to own it before him, so it's been a family business for a while. And it's located in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, which is right outside Chicago. But yeah, I've been working like over summers there, trying to learn everything because it's something I want to get into. And so we sell, like, we don't sell the bags that are in like grocery stores, but we kind of sell the oddball bags, like if you ever gone down Ace Hardware or Lowe's and gone down the nut and bolt aisle. We sell bags like that. So if you have ever done that, you've probably had our bag, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff like that.
And even supply bags, from what I understand, of some of the merchandise sellers out there in the NHRA. Like, some of those bags are actually RB bags. So that's pretty cool. RB, where does that name come from? Do you know, or you know the story from, like, because, obviously RB, you think Arby's, like roast beef sandwiches, but it's not spelled that way. So what's going on? Why is it RB?
Yeah, so it's actually funny. I had this talk with my dad pretty recently because I was like, why is it called RB? And the reason is my grandpa, when he started the business, he wanted to have his name first in the phone book because phone books were really big back in the day. And RB was way up there, and so that's pretty much why he named it RB.
There you go. Positional marketing back in the day of the phone books. Yes.
Yep.
Have you ever seen a phone book, by the way? I mean, have you ever used one?
No, no.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm in a weird place being 33 now. I remember when there was no internet. I remember when there was phone booths. Like I understand what Travis Tritt is saying when here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Like everybody has a phone now. You don't need a quarter.
Yeah.
So I remember searching in the phone books. Yeah, phone books completely obsolete. Wow. Okay, there we go. That's where the name comes from.
Yep.
Let me handle some some show and introduction points. So, Frank, what's with the glasses? Frank, that's my thing. It's a part of the gig. It's part of the look. It's part of the persona. It's even the logo. Bobby, have you ever seen me without glasses?
No.
See, there we go. It's just a part of the look. The man's probably never even. I don't. Even, he's never even seen my eyes. He never even seen my eyes. No one has. Well, not no one. A few people have. But yes, at an NHRA national event, drag racer motorsporting event, you see me, the man with the shades, the hat, and the big beard. You know it's Monday Morning Racers. It's just my thing, man. But hey, Drag Racing Central's got a great question. Let's do some musing over this. What's going to be Bobby Bode's epic nickname? So all great drag racers have an epic nickname: the Ace, the Snake, the Mongoose, so on and so on. What would be Bobby Bode's nickname?
I would say Bobby Hollywood Bode.
Hollywood wants to go with the Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Hollywood. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
someone brought that up to me a couple races ago, and it's just something that stays in my head. So I think it'd be pretty cool.
Okay. Hollywood. I like that. Hey, look, you might be able to live up to it. Live up to it. Do some showboating out there, and you can live up to it. Be Hollywood. Now you're gonna be Hollywood in the sense of like heel, bad guy, or good guy. I mean, we're gonna do like the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, or are we gonna be like Brad Pitt Hollywood? What side of it?
I like to consider myself the good guy always.
Okay.
So always the good guy. Yep.
Okay. He's a baby face. Like truly,
Yep.
he actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the hobbies, man. Obviously, folks can see some photos, you hanging out with the frat boys, enjoying that. Are you into other motorsport hobbies, or when you're outside the funny car, do you find yourself enjoying completely different other things beyond motorsports? So what's your interests?
Well, it's just hard to be a college student in general while you're being like a nitro funny car driver.
It's
like,
not typical, by the way.
yeah, it's really not typical. So, I mean, I'm just learning as time goes on. I mean, I'm only a sophomore right now, but I've learned a lot like the past year, like how you have to like plan ahead and everything, and especially with like the fraternity, like we always have events going on and everything, so I have to just plan ahead and just stay ahead of it.
So when are you going to get the fraternity out to the drag strip? I mean, that's got to happen.
Yeah, so next year in for Phoenix in February, I've been working on it lately, and hopefully we have a decent turnout of guys there. They're all like super supportive of me, and so yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have all of them out there. We're gonna try and get a bus out, like
Get the bus. Get the bus. Yes, get the bus. Oh
Yep.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Remote ASU party in the pits. There you go, man. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Well, a lot of folks, I know they may look at you being a young man and stepping in the funny car, and they probably just think, oh, driver, that's all he does. But I do want to break down, because I've seen in hanging around the pits and interviewing you that you make a lot more decisions than people realize, like Norwalk. Creasy goes out there, blows the tires off, and you're like, nope, we're going to go back. We're not ready for this. We're going to get ready for tomorrow. And that was your call. They asked you, your dad and car chief, they asked you. And I've seen you open up what I like to call the can of worms and turn the knobs. And I know from Jeff Arend and Dale Worsham, they even joke about that. Yeah, he doesn't turn it a quarter. He's like turning full turns. So talk to me about the weight that's on your shoulders, and yet also the joy of, hey, you're not just driving it, you're making some decisions, and walk us through the decisions you're making.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. I mean, I love being like in control of like all the setup stuff, because I know what I'm getting myself into, and it kind of helps with driving the car because I kind of have an idea of like what should happen up there, and then like in the car, if something doesn't like feel right or sound right, I kind of have an idea, and we can figure it out in the pit area right when we get back. But yeah, I don't know, I just like doing all of like making all the setup calls, and I also work on the clutch and stuff. And all of it helps driving the car too, because you have a good sense of like what's wrong or what's going on in the car at the same time. So it really does help me, and I'm just lucky my dad puts up with all the mistakes I've made in the past, and just keeps working with me.
Well, let's talk about some of that decision making and look at a few runs and go behind the scenes of you encountering some firsts. You've been encountering a lot of firsts this year, which have been cool. I actually played this earlier. I misplayed it, but we're going to play it again. This is Indianapolis Friday night qualifying. Where were you going, Bobby? Wow, no. That was, at that point, that was a career best, if I remember correctly. And wow, like y'all were having to add weight because the car hadn't performed like that in a long time, if ever, and a lot of changes were made. So how did it feel going that quick, that fast for the first time ever? And from what you've described in the past, you didn't have much feeling at all there in the front end.
Yeah. Yeah, so like pretty much the car left great, and I can usually tell when it's on a good run because it pulls pretty hard. And that run it pulled like no other run in the past. And all of a sudden, when I thought the clutch would go to lock up, the front end started bobbling in the air, and so I really didn't have much control. And I really thought I hit the wall that round. So I got lucky I didn't. But yeah, so we had to add weight that round, and yeah, and then that run it was going to run about an 86 or 87, and it was going to be a monster run. And like we had guys like Jeff Ferren text us and say that they haven't seen early numbers like that in years. So that was really cool just to experience that.
She was hauling the mail for sure. But the wild rides at Indy were not done. It went on for you to have a wild one in round one against Tim Wilkerson, who's played a big part in the performance. Every funny car driver's got to be able to pedal the thing. First time you got to pedal the thing, walk us through that. I know that you seem like, yes, you were bummed that you lost, but you're ecstatic that you, got this past you in your funny car career.
Yeah, so that was my first time ever pedaling the car. And before my pass, I saw everyone else blowing the tires off right away. So I knew that there was going to be a good chance I was going to have to pedal it. And I talked to my dad about it, and he was just trying to give me some advice, like don't hit the gas too hard when you get back into it. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. And that was just a big learning curve for me. I hit the gas a little too hard, so it didn't hook back up. But hopefully I learned from that and don't do it again.
All right, we'll talk about St. Louis in just a moment. Huge weekend for you out there. I wasn't out there, man. I was rooting you on. It was cool to see. But I think the monkey in the cockpit, well, it's not no monkey. It's something called fire. You haven't had that yet. Have you thought about that? Like, are you prepared for that as much as you can be? Have you done the practicing of getting out of the car and all those type of things? Because it's out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of times that have been false alarms where I've thought I've been on fire, and I've gotten out really quick, and it wasn't anything serious, like thankfully. But I'm kind of prepared for when it happens. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but it's gonna happen.
It definitely doesn't seem to happen at the rate like it was in late 1970s and the 1980s and early 90s. But I mean, even this year, we've seen some decent sized boomers. Force at
Dallas.
Texas, and then Alexis at Texas last year, and Wilk had a good sized boomer. So it's definitely out there. It still can definitely happen with nitromethane. All right, St. Louis, dude. What a stellar performance to see that car do that. I thought you were going to hold to number one, and then Matt Hagan and Ron Capps have got to lay down what they put down. But, I mean, it held for your best qualifying performance of your career. So talk to me about St. Louis, that run, and what everybody was thinking. What was it like in the pits afterwards, so on and so on?
Okay, so so going up for that round, we had the same setup as we did Indy for the Q1 run, when it should have run like an 86, and we added weight to it. So we were kind of like excited to see what it was going to run, and it went right down there and didn't hike the front end up or anything, and it ran 89. And when I turned the corner, I had no idea that it was that, and I got out of the car, and I was just really happy when they told me. I couldn't believe it for about like 20 minutes, and then we were just listening to the radio, and everyone kept running slower than us, and we're like, wow, we have a shot at this. And then the last pair came up, Capps and Hagan, and we were all listening like really intently, and then they ran like 87 or 88 and got around us. So we were kind of bummed out, but at the same time we were just like really happy. And yeah, it was a fun night to say the least.
I imagine so. And again, congratulations. Things keep moving forward for you and your career. How was Vegas this past weekend? Did the team? I don't know if the team dressed up or not. What was Halloween like, Las Vegas? And that's also another partner that you all have help out, the Casino Royale, right? So some rooms there. How was Vegas? Everything, drag racing to the town itself.
So it started out kind of like not as good as we expected. The first pass we had like some clutch malfunctions, and we were like super lost. And Tim Wilkerson came down and helped us. And then Q2 was just as bad as Q1. And then so pretty much Q3 we're qualified last, and we threw a Hail Mary at it and ran a 4 flat. And so that was pretty exciting. We were pretty excited for that. And then we lost round 1, but it was a really close race. I deep staged, which is pretty cool for me. And the margin of victory was like 600ths or something, but it was a pretty close race. And then we had Casino Royale, who's always supported us out there, and they were supporting us again this year, which is really cool.
Awesome. Any other supporters that you need to mention? Mom, dad, anyone else on the car that you'd like to say thank you to? Take the time to say thank you.
Obviously, my dad would be my number one. I mean, he runs the business that sponsors the car, but I don't know. He's just as passionate about racing as I am, and he got me into it. So I really, really can't thank him enough. Like, I can't put into words how much he's helped me, and I just love working with him. It's always like, so sometimes it's frustrating, but we always figure it out in the end, which is really cool. And then my mom's the same way. She always supports me, and then Casino Royale, and those are the only like 2 big supporters we have. So it's pretty. Oh, and we have JT Muffler. It's one of our friends in Chicago. And so, yeah, I can't think of all the supporters enough.
Awesome. Now, Stan, he's a regular individual that watches the show, talking about the frat boys and going to the race. He says, heck with the boys, bring the ASU gals to the track. With that being said, and he asks this, so over the year and at the races I've been to and that you've been to, I've noticed that it's been like a different backup girl every time. And like Las Vegas, lovely young lady you had this weekend helping up with the backup duties. So I gotta ask, Bobby, are you using the funny car to pick up chicks? Because it looks like you are right now. What's going on, man?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Yeah, so I've had a couple different backup girls. So my first one was Kate Worsham, Del Worsham's daughter. I've been friends with her for a while, and then she couldn't make it to some of the races, so I kind of started trying to find someone else, and then found this girl I used to race junior dragster with. Her name's Tori Iacono, and her aunt races. Her aunt's Jackie Frick, who races Top Alcohol Dragster, and then she wasn't at Vegas either. So then I had to find someone new, and there was this girl named Sarah Dubé from Houston, which is who I met earlier in the year. So it's just cool to use the funny car and try to find some chicks.
Yeah, I just see Bobby around campus. I go 300 miles an hour. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. At our parties, like all my friends try and be my wingman and tell them like, oh, this guy's a race car driver. I don't know. It's really funny and fun. Yeah.
There it is, folks. Yes, Bobby Bode uses funny car to pick up chicks. We have got to the bottom of it. Hey, work it, man. Work it. It definitely is cool. Not something that everyone's going to get to do, and you're getting to experience it, living the dream. Obviously, that is cool, and keep working it and doing it. Well, you're there at Arizona State University. Why are you there? What are your studies, and what do you hope that you learn from your education that you can tie into racing and continue to do it and even more?
So I am studying business entrepreneurship right now, and I'm just trying to learn how to run a business, which is why I came here, because they have a pretty good business school here, and my dad owns a business, so hopefully I can get involved with that, or if I can, hopefully I can create my own business. And also in Arizona, it's one of the biggest campuses in the country, so it's great to make like all these friends and connections for my future or whatever. And I've actually met some people who are really interested in racing, and it's just really cool to meet all these new people out here.
Important question. American Hot Rod Entertainment asks, is Bode a Chicago Bulls or Phoenix Suns fan?
I am a Chicago Bulls fan, 100%. Yeah, let's go Bulls.
Are you Chicago fandom throughout? Are we talking about White Sox, Cubs, and Bears too, or you got any other allegiances?
Pretty much just Chicago. I mean, Cubs, Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, all of them.
Notice he left out the White Sox though.
Yeah, I'm not a White Sox fan. No.
Have you been able to be at a game at Wrigley and attend some of those sporting events? You been to any of them?
Yeah, I've been to a Bulls game and a Cubs game. I haven't gone to a Bears game yet, but hopefully I can check that off the bucket list soon. I mean, I rooted for the Phoenix sports teams too. I mean, because I'm here.
You're there, yeah. And look, just going and enjoying a sporting event, whether you're pulling for one of the teams or not, that's cool. I mean, I remember the first time I got to go to an NFL game. I like to see the Atlanta Falcons do well. I live in the Southeast, but I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, have been all my life. But I had free tickets to an NFL game, and I'd never been to one. Why am I going to pass that up if it's Atlanta and the Redskins? And I hate the Redskins because they're rivals to Dallas. So it was good to see them lose that game. It was awesome. But that was like going because of hatred more than anyone liking in particular. But no, it's an NFL game. Why pass it up?
Mm-hmm.
So American Hot Rod Entertainment, he does follow basketball very, very closely. He says, Bulls looking good this year. Lonzo DeRozan, I have no clue how to
DeRozan,
pronounce this.
DeRozan.
DeRozan, there we go. DeRozan and Levine balling. He says they're balling, so they look good. They look good. Hopefully they'll do well. But nothing like MJ. Nothing like MJ days. It's gone. It's done. It's not happening anytime soon. I don't care who else is out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, MJ compared to LeBron. I mean, MJ all the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
oh! American Hot Rod Entertainment. You hear that? No discussion with Mr. Bode. He's a LeBron guy. He's a LeBron.
No discussion. No.
Oh, man. Kenneth says the dating game get to know you hour. Well, yeah. I mean, you want to give your number out. Any ladies that are watching, they go ahead and call you up and be the backup girl for the next event. What is the next event? I imagine it's Pomona. Are y'all going to be there?
Yeah, we're going to be there. And for as far as the backup girls, I'm not sure who's going to back me up there, but we're in the talks of having 3 at once. So that'll be something new if we can make that happen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll see what the NHRA says about that. Don't tell the NHRA. Don't tell.
Yeah,
I might have to cut this part of the episode just in case. Wow, three at once there, backing up, and yeah, maybe you can start a lottery system. You know, be Bobby Bode's backup girl, and you can have a lottery system, and people, girls put into it. Like they got the girls. Let's not.
Yeah.
Now, something that I want to know right now, obviously NHRA competition. What are your thoughts about taking the family hot rod to Funny Car Chaos, for example, or one of the Nitro Chaos events and running those? Like Chris Graves is going to have, again, that huge funny car event in March coming in 2022. Last year had over 70-something funny cars. Dale himself showed up. What's your thoughts about going to those standalone non-NHRA type events?
I actually follow like Funny Car Chaos and all those like not NHRA events, and I've been trying to convince my dad to go, and he's had his fair share of experience of like match races and all that, and he's had like some bad experiences and whatever, and he always tells me about them, so it's gonna be hard to convince him, but I'm gonna keep trying.
All right. Well, we got to work on them. Would love to see the Bode camp there for Funny Car Chaos 2022, the Funny Car Classic in March. It doesn't conflict with any NHRA dates as of right now. So, yeah, put that on the calendar, man. Put that on the calendar. Well, Bobby, look, great to have you on the show. Appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to your studies if that's actually what you do there, not just picking up girls with the funny car. But whatever it is, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a fun time, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before you go, tell everybody how they can follow you.
So my Instagram is at Bobby.Bode. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. And yeah, and then we have Instagram for our racing page at Bode Motorsports on Instagram as well. I don't have Twitter or Facebook or anything, so just Instagram, but a follow and give a couple likes.
All right. Well, man, look, have yourself a good evening.
Thank you for having me. Yep.
Power-Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Power-Built Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bobby Bode, rising star in the funny car ranks of the NHRA world. Kenneth says, cool. Definitely, it's cool to have Bobby on. And Drag Racing Central makes a good point here. This is another example of NHRA not showing driver personalities. Without this, I would have not knew Bobby Bode was this much of a personality. There are so many good personalities and characters out there in the NHRA right now, and even beyond the fuel ranks and the pro stock ranks and pro stock motorcycle. Right now, what is happening on Tuesday night, 9 p.m., Competition Plus Power Hour with myself and Slam and Sam. What Wes Buck has stepped up and been doing with his show on Wednesdays around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think my show and the little corner I've got and who I try to talk to the people who don't get on those shows and don't get that exposure. Coming into the weeks to come, I'm going to be having the champions of the Southeast Gassers on and sharing their stories and what their year was like and diving into that segment of the drag racing world. But I really feel that the NHRA should have something beyond in its social media, beyond even the NHRA Insiders podcast. I really feel like there should be a live, interactive NHRA show that people can connect with. Yes, it's being supplemented by yours truly here, the Monday Morning Racer, American Hot Rod Entertainment, and Competition Plus Power Hour, Wes Buck Show, Drag List has a show. There are many outlets, but the NHRA stepping up and leading it, I think, would be important in showcasing personalities. I really wish that we had an extra broadcast next to the broadcast. What I mean by that, right now, you look at NASCAR, you look at F1, especially NASCAR. That's the best example I've got. Their YouTube, you're going to find extra things on their YouTube on race day. A lot of times you can go to their YouTube on race day and you can follow along for free the in-car and the radio of a driver during a race. Like, interestingly enough, I can remember following along Jimmy Johnson, and they didn't catch this in the broadcast, but they catch it on this YouTube. You know, he's flipping somebody off. You know, you didn't know nothing about that on the broadcast, but you were able to see it with his in-car following along with the race. It'd be interesting if the NHRA had a broadcast along with supplementing the main broadcast that took you into the pits, followed the teardown, maybe talk to some crew members, have a little bit more in-depth conversation with a driver while they're packing the parachute. I don't know, something like that. I think there's a lot that's on the table that could happen, and I wish I could provide more. But, I mean, guys, you know, I'll have people comment, and I appreciate the comment. They'll say, you guys are doing a great job. And I say thank you, and yet I always want to remind it's Guy. Like, it is just me doing this. I have had help from Darren. I've had help from Sam, people pitching in here and there to help me in this very show. But most of the work, 99% of the work, I have put out with and for this channel, the Monday Morning Racer. Let's see. Go back to the comments here. Drag Racing Central Netflix documentary. Yes, why not? Look, when John Force, the Driving Force show, they had that, and John, you know, got upset about that because they would cut things in a way that were not how they actually happened. But having something that follow along with our drive, could you imagine a Netflix style documentary following along with the key players in Funny Car this year? Man, we missed it. We missed it already this year. Stan says, the best NHRA show was J.R. Todd and Langdon podcast from the track a few years ago. Yeah, that was a good podcast. And I think you are even talking about a specific episode. I have not heard it, but I hear people talking about it. And look, we need drivers having their own podcast. We need more content in the world of drag racing and it being out there. And there's so much in drag racing that can be talked about and can be expressed and can be shared. I will share one frustration, though. You reach out to people to come onto a show and they don't see the value in coming on a show. Do I have the biggest platform? No, I don't have the biggest platform. And I can definitely accept an honest, hey, busy this week. Hey, don't have the time this week. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But when you are flat out ignored and people don't see the opportunity to plug sponsors, to share their story, to drum up some interest in the sport and be ambassadors, we got to work on that too. We got to work on that as well. Drag Racing Central said, I'd be curious about the NHRA driver radios have a radioactive segment. I have thought of that as well. Now, certainly there's not as much radio chatter in NHRA compared to 400 or 500 miles of a stock car race with NASCAR. But I definitely think you could hodgepodge it together to have a 2.5 minute, 3 minute, again, extra content on YouTube, on social media, giving a different perspective of the drivers and the relationships through the radio. And I don't know, heck, maybe we could even have Radio Sweetheart then, like Jimmy Spencer used to do with, well, most of the time, Kurt Busch. And I could have a crying towel moment. Maybe I need to bring that segment in. NHRA crying towel. Oh, they're crying. I don't know. You couldn't see the tears through the shades. Drag Racing Central, again, driving force. I say it's a big reason why John Force is still a big superstar 30 years later. Could very well be. It definitely opened him up to another crowd, and he led the way. Shelly Anderson from Vegas. Okay. Yes. Okay. I haven't listened to it. Again, we need more content. We definitely need more content. Folks, thank you for watching right here Between the Slicks. Thursday, each and every Thursday. Probably we'll take a break. Thanksgiving, obviously. Maybe have a Tuesday night show there instead of Thursday night and take a break from Competition Plus Power. I don't know. But we will keep plugging along. I do plan on being Pomona. Hopefully that works out. But this weekend at the Southeast Gastro Association's last race for 2021, championships will be decided. There are some tight points battles there as well. Looking forward to that. Pomona coming up, some no prep racing coming up. Look, the year is winding down, but yet in so many ways it is ramping up with some of these winter one-off type of events. Thank you to each and every one of you watching. Hit that like button for me. Hit that share button for me. Thank you for commenting. Love the interaction. Folks, one of the reasons I opened up and started Monday Morning Racer, it was not to become a media personality. It was not to be an individual that is in media and all. It was actually to build a community. That's what it was about, to build a community. So thank you for commenting. And Jeffrey, to answer your comment very quickly before we close the show out, we already had him on. We had him on for about 30, maybe 40 minutes, and we're toward the end of the show, but you can definitely catch the playback. Folks, take care. Until next time, I'm the Monday Morning Racer, saying God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.
Yes, you can now get Monday Morning Racer swag. Shop SpeedShark.com, Team SpeedShark. They can hook you up with Monday Morning Racer apparel. Not only Monday Morning Racer apparel, we're talking about apparel for Johnny Placino, Camry Caruso, Frankie the Madman Taylor, and more to come soon. Check them out at shopspeedshark.com or at your next race at the Speed Shark trailer.